once you're signed, once they make the big announcement, what were the early days like when you're actually out there? Were you welcomed? Were you making friends? Were you like, this is the life? Like, was it basically the dream that he was presenting?
I was sitting at home making a lot of money. I wasn't working.
Right away, you weren't working? Because I've seen your matches.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't right away because you have to understand. Remember, it was a TV deal. So once Vince got the TV deal, I had to say a few lines in Punjabi and Hindi. They played it to the board of directors in Hong Kong. He got his contract renewed. Vince's job was done. So I was brought in through not the traditional route. Normally is you have the agents that are there. They're going in the farm systems. They recruit the guy, and then you're part of their stable. And then they're pushing, they're soliciting to Vince and to the writers. Hey, my guy, my guy, my guy. So Vince brought me in. So I didn't have a guy to solicit. And because Vince brought me in, it really rubbed some of the executive people that were in the power the wrong way. Kind of snubbed them. I never snubbed them, but the system snubbed them. And there were also people in power at the time that were kind of jobbers for my dad in Australia, in Japan. So they didn't look very favorably on my dad, right? So I had that baggage to deal with. So I remember I was just brought in for TVs, and that's not a good thing because the guys that are out there on the road for 200, 300 days of the year, now you're getting snubbed by them, right? And I was always taught, you know, wearing a suit and dress professional. They're wearing like ripped track pants and T-shirts. So now I'm snubbing them that way as well because now I'm looked at as a, you know, I'm too good for them and I'm an executive. But I was requested by Vince, whatever attire you wear in Japan, wear it. You know, the funny thing is now they're all legislated to wear their suits and ties because now it's a publicly traded company and you got to look professional. How funny is that? So I was looked upon very negatively on that. So I had everything going against me. So at the end of the day, it's not about making money, right? So I remember I'm just sitting at home collecting checks, and my mom came up to me and she goes, "Why aren't you like?" And I said, "Mom, like they're not booking me to be a wrestler, because the guys that are booking are against me or against my dad on how we came into the system." She goes, "Well, this is not setting a good precedent for you, right? Like you're making all this money, but you're not working. So you need to find a way." You know, God bless my mom. I don't know how many people would push you to go out there, but she set me on the right course. She goes, "One way or the other, you got to get on there. And if that door's closed, figure out another way." So I said, okay, you know, there's two basically departments. There's one that are kind of run by the old henchmen of wrestling, booking the talent and doing their stable and favors and pushing the guys. And then there's the writing, which was new, which was more, they were implementing kind of reality into the WWF at the time, but they really didn't capitalize on it. So I was sitting there one day and I was just watching television and I was watching Jerry Springer. It was very popular. I wasn't really into the content, but I was really fascinated by the fact that on a shoestring of a budget, he was whooping Oprah Winfrey's show in the ratings. So, and the other thing is he was making the audience kind of the performers. So he wasn't paying anybody and people just love it. It's like a train wreck, right? A car wreck. So I go, okay, you know what if I kind of, there was a $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, 10 years before me, and it was all pre-scripted, you know. How many times, kid, can you bounce a basketball? Okay, you know what, on the 9th one, I'm gonna kick it away. People are gonna get upset. It was all scripted. And at the same time, I'm a proud Canadian, so they wanted me to be kind of, you know, the baby face, the good guy in Canada. They tried to align me with Bret Hart. And, you know, we had a big market overseas with our Asian culture, not only Indians, Asia, but because the color of my skin, I was loathed in the US. Anything typically non-American, which is white, long hair, cowboy boots, Harley Davidson bike, the typical was foreign, and they just boo you. So Vince goes, you know, what can we try to do? So I came up with this idea. I said, what if I do something, how low will an American go? And I shoot with it. And I basically say, you know, the Asian culture reveres their parents, respects, you know, morals, has integrity. will never sell themselves. And Americans, you'll sell yourself for $1. And I said, it's not scripted. It's going to be real. And we won't have a plant in the audience, which is, someone that they have already set. I'll just pick somebody and let's just roll with it, because the audience was a lot more intelligent at the time as well. So there were a lot of dirt sheets. Internet was starting to come. So people are talking, right? And so he says, okay, let's give it a go. So I showed up. He goes, and I never did a promo in my life. And I remember it was in Anaheim Pond, 20,000 people. And he goes, let's go out there. So they gave me a script, and it was like 5 pages, and I can't memorize anything. So Vince came over. He goes, did you memorize it? I spent like 2 hours. I said, Vince, I'm nervous. He goes, give it to me. He ripped it, threw it away. I was going, Vince. He goes, go and do it. So I went and did it, and the rest, as they say, is history. It was the highest rated segment. They would have Nielsen ratings the day after, which would break it down quarterly over the 2-hour show, and they would show the peaks, and it was on USA Cable. And I had the highest rating.
Oh, crazy.
And Steve Austin was the champion, was number 2. I think Undertaker DX was number 3. The Rock was number 4. So then they compared it going head to head against all the other things. So I even did higher ratings than Seinfeld. I did higher ratings than all of that. So that was the first inclusion of reality television, and so I basically, all the guys that were, the powers to be in wrestling, then they became my best friends, because now I was a ratings generator. Oh, talk to me, and anyways, so that was, how does they say, that was the thing that brought me to the forefront. That's where the name got recognized. I was blessed by Muhammad Ali then with the Tiger Ali Singh. And it was going really, really good.